So is it a playable game? Yeah, it's a playable game. So what you need to do is you're going to get 2 decks or build 2 decks. So one for your opponent, one for you. You shuffle them up just like you do with any game. Then you set these area cards between both players. You shuffle those up so you don't know which one's where. Obviously you'd have a bigger space normally. Then you draw your cards. When you want to play a card, you look at these symbols right here. So the one on the right is the area level. It's a requirement to play a card. So area level is equivalent to the number of these that are face up. So I couldn't play Shirka until at least three of those were face up. And then the little bubbles that are next to that number are the cost to play it. So the color of that bubble is the color card you have to discard from your hand. So let's say my opponent already had 3 mercenaries out, so these 3 areas are face up. So now I could try to play my guts because we're at area level 3 that's required, and I'll pay these 2 for my hand to play him. So now I've got guts. Now when you have characters on the field, you can turn them to attack. Now if you're attacking and you have the only surviving characters from the battle, then you actually will claim the area. Even if your opponent already claimed it before, you can take it back from them. And when you do that, you draw 2 cards from your deck. And the goal of the game is to just kind of keep going back and forth doing that until somebody has claimed at least 3 areas, including the royal capital. So you need that one, and then 2 or more local cities. And then you'll win. These mercenary cards are very important because they have an area level cost of 0. So before any of these areas flip up, those are the only type of card that you can normally play. Now every character card has stats in the bottom right. You see power and HP. That works just like Magic the Gathering, if you've ever played that. The HP is the amount of damage that it can take within a single turn, and the power is the amount of damage that it can put out. Movement is the number of spaces that it can move. So for instance, this guy with 1 move, I could turn him and move him to the area next door. Range, most of the characters have 0 range, and the range is the priority in which they deal damage. So if we have 2 characters in a fight and one has 1 range and the other has 0 range, the one with 1 range will deal damage first. Now a lot of the cards have abilities down here. So you see that little symbol right there? That's the lock symbol. And it just means that you turn him in order to use his ability. So this guts card, he'll deal 4 damage to a target character in the same area when you turn him. This Shirka here will draw 2 cards when you turn her. And you'll see some of these cards have this word that says unique. That just means that only one of them can exist on the field. Some of the characters don't have an ability. They just have a quote from the manga here. And then we've also got effect cards. So you play them just like you would a character card, except for they go to the trash after you execute the ability on it. Some of them are also quick, which means that you could use them at any time, even on your opponent's turn or during battle. Some of the effect cards are eternal, which means that they stay on the field kind of like a character would. So decks in this game have a minimum of 45 cards and a maximum of 3 of each numbered card in the deck, except for these mercenary cards, which you need at least 10 of in your deck. And there are a ton of cards to build your deck with. There's 160 cards from Volume 1 and 64 cards from Volume 2, 64 more cards from Volume 3, and when Volume 4 and 5 are done, there will be 80 more for each of those. There are 6 different decks that I've designed so far. Well, I've actually designed a couple more, but I haven't released them yet. And these two, the Guts and Griffith decks, are actually based on official deck lists. So I guess technically I didn't really design those two. You guys got any more questions? Let me know.